Well, I mean, I actually really approve of Keir Starmer just coming out and declaring he's far right, actually, because that's what it means to be an English patriot in this day and age. And we're reliably informed this by the Met, actually. If we can get the next one up, that'd be good. Because being English is what being far right means, as the Metropolitan Police told us about the people who went to celebrate St. George's Day in London with their English flags. As you see later today, an event to mark St. George's Day is expected to take place. This will include far right groups. Okay, but what kind of people want to celebrate St. George's Day in England on St. George's Day? Well, the English. They're the people who celebrate St. George's Day. Not the Welsh, it's not the Scottish, it's not the Irish, it's not the Pakistani diaspora, it's not the Indian diaspora. Maybe a couple of Sikhs actually tend to, which is nice. But mostly it's just the English. And so when they say far right, they mean the native ethnic group of the country. And so when they say in Ireland, the far right are out, well, that means the Irish. When they say in Wales, the far right are out, that means the Welsh. When they say in France, the far right are out, that means the French. That's what far right means, the native ethnic group of the place. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to let you know that we have a brand new selection of merch on our merch store. These won't be in the store forever, so if you do want them, go and get them now. Thanks very much. And so let's move on to Sadiq Khan. I like Sadiq Khan a lot because he's a man of many faces, wears many hats. Sadiq Khan is many things. For example, here is a proud Pakistani mayor of London. I'm going to play it just so you can understand just how proudly Pakistani he is.
आपको मालूम है कि मैं
Not in English.
पूरी जिंदगी पब्लिक सर्विस में खिदमत कर रहा हूँ जब हम दोस्त थे काउंसलर था टूरिन में फिर मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट था और अब अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मेयर ऑफ लंदन मिनिस्टर भी था और मेरी जो ओपिनियंस ये है कि हमारी जो वैल्यूज है ना यू शुड ऑलवेज ट्राई एंड हेल्प अदर्स और फख्र भी है हलीम भी है आजिज़ी भी है कि मुझे इस्तार पाकिस्तान मिला है मगर मेरे लिए नहीं है मेरी फैमिली के लिए है हमारी कम्युनिटी के लिए है और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात यह है कि ये सबूत है कि लंदन और पाकिस्तान यूके और पाकिस्तान फ्रेंडशिप है हमारे जो टाइस है कल्चरल है
I'll stop it, just so you get the point.
Why were the words friendship and helping others only announceable in English?
Well, I guess there's no Urdu equivalent.
When you're a certain age,
They're loan words.
yeah. When you're a certain age, just think of the old Fast Show sketch with the, you know, the commentator.
Yeah, I do.
Chris Waddle.
Yeah. But that's kind of what that was. But anyways, you can see from the title, I am proud to be a Pakistani mayor of London, which is good. I mean, I there's no reason he shouldn't be proud of his ethnicity. I think that's perfectly normal. And then, you know, he follows that up being like, well, look, you know, London's the greatest city in the world. I'm proud of my Pakistani heritage, my faith, my South Asian roots. Proud to be a Londoner and a Brit. And it's like, okay, this is starting to get a bit weirdly convoluted, right? There are lots of hats that he's wearing here, and he's just proud of all of them. So, I mean, Sadiq Khan's a very small man, but full of, you know, bursting full of great pride. There's, of course, him being a proud European as well, which I think is funny.
Let me start with 3 facts. Number 1, my name is Sadiq Khan. Number 2, I am the Mayor of London.
Easy crowd.
And number 3, I'm a proud European.
Okay. He's a proud Pakistani European Londoner.
Oh, Indo-European roots, I suppose?
Maybe. I don't know how far back in this we're going.
Is this going to be like Turan? Do you know what Turan is?
No.
So there's all the Turkic groups, which includes like the Finns, the Hungarians.
Oh, yeah.
They all think they're part of the same country, and one day all of the Turkic Empire and the Finns and the Hungarians will be back in one state called Turan. Is he going to make this but Indo-European, where it's...
No, I don't think... I think that's giving him far too much credit. I think he just identifies with absolutely all of these things, no matter how nonsensical it is. And then you've got, you know, he's proud to be a Muslim, of course, which, I mean, actually it was difficult to find footage of him saying this, actually. I could only find this sort of Sun column or whatever it is of it. But he is proud to be a Muslim, obviously. And he's proud to be a feminist, which is nice.
I'll be
Feminist
a
Muslim.
proud feminist in City Hall.
I'm a proud feminist in City Hall.
I'm a proud feminist.
I'm a proud feminist.
I'm a feminist. I'm a proud...
He's a lot more proud of being a feminist than he is a Muslim. Like I said, I couldn't get a clip of him saying, I'm a proud Muslim.
Pakistani, British, European, feminist Muslim.
Londoner.
Is that worse?
I mean, I think so, but so it just, I don't really know how I'm supposed to categorize Sadiq Khan. I mean, now an uncharitable person might say, "Well, he's a bit confused, isn't he?" Right? He's a bit confused. There seem to be a bunch of contradictory identities in there,
Or he's lying.
or he's lying. But we're gonna assume that he's just got a lot of pride in him, Callum. It just needs outlets.
Just a good faith man.
Yeah, he's
Just
he's,
trying to learn about the world.
he's just proud of whatever's on the front of his mind. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a feminist. Yeah, I'm a Muslim. Yeah, I'm a European. Yeah, I'm a Londoner. Oh, I'm a Brit. I'm just proud of all of these things."
Yeah, you can imagine him sort of turning up an event. Which one is this?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a proud bricklayer. What is it?
Yeah.
I'm a proud feminist. No, that's the wrong one. Oh, Muslim.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't like women, actually.
It turns up in India one. I'm a proud Hindu. It's like, no, this is the Muslim one. They hate that. It's like
Justin Trudeau. We got to get him wearing Indian uniforms soon.
yeah. I mean,
American.
yeah, exactly. He's the British Justin Trudeau when it comes to identity. I don't know what the hell he thinks of himself as being, but he was born in London. For anyone who's wondering, and so I guess he's a proud Londoner. And I tell you what, this is just it was probably inevitable that Sadiq Khan would become a proud Englishman.
Amazing.
On this day in the year 2024, Sadiq Khan became a proud member of the far right. I, for one, welcome him.
I don't.
All right, it needs more feminists. It needs more feminist Muslims.
I think that the far right needs more Muslim representation.
Oh, God.
More Pakistanis, more Europeans, actually.
Maybe he's like Madonna. Remember when she said you need to be a thingy in the kitchen, thingy in the bedroom? Remember the famous quote? It depends where he is. I'm a feminist in the streets, but I'm
a Muslim in the sheets. I wonder if he gets his wife to write on a chalkboard like Ali Dawah does. Or like the Germans do. Anyway, so I thought we'd just go through this, just because it's very similar to the Keir Starmer push to make being English an inclusive identity. And if I tell you, if Sadiq Khan can do it, anyone can do it. But he just says, I'm glad we reclaimed our flag from the English. Our flag? Sorry, Pakistani feminist Muslim European Londoner.
England.
Yeah.
England.
Women's rights.
Why did the English have your flag exactly? The one that you didn't want to go anywhere near until today.
It's actually like a toddler being like, that's mine.
Yes. That's actually, I should have thought of that because I have a toddler that goes, that's mine. And you have to be like, can you share? And he says no. But then when you have something, he says share. And that's exactly what Sadiq Khan is doing right now, right? But the thing is, he says, England is a nation that is small in size but grand in vision. On this day of celebration, it's an opportunity for people to come together and mark with joy our traditions, culture, and history. It's like, wait, he's empire posting. Until literally 50 years ago, we had a world-spanning empire. Small in size, but grand in vision. Sadiq's right. A quarter of the globe is not enough. We need a third of the globe. Like, what are you saying, Sadiq? The England I know and love is a country where we are proud of our heritage and our heroes. Or like Sir Clive of India, the guy who conquered India for the British Empire. Can we be, no? Okay.
Maybe he does want to conquer India. I hear there's been a few issues between Pakistan and India.
Yeah. What about Cecil
I don't want
Rhodes?
to get into that, but
Are we proud of Cecil Rhodes?
He's proud of conquering India, only if it's for Pakistan. Is that what you were getting at?
well, I don't know. I'm saying
Maybe.
maybe he wants to conquer again. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, he's a proud Pakistani Englishman.
I wouldn't put anything past him. He's
European.
very ambitious.
But I mean, let's be fair. I mean, if he's a proud European, proud Englishman, proud Brit, I mean, there's a lot of imperialism tied up in that. So maybe it runs in his veins, as it were. But anyway, he says, we're proud of our heritage and heroes. It's like, okay, are we? I mean, I am, but are you? Do we think that Sadiq Khan is taking care of the statue of Nelson when the Palestinian protests are happening around it? Probably not.
Or any of the monarchs.
Or Winston Churchill, or, But anyway, no, we are, right?
There is a statue of Gandhi actually outside Parliament now. I do wonder if he's going to blow that up.
Yeah, is he one of our national heroes? We are a nation which gave birth to parliamentary democracy. One of our proudest daughters pioneered computer science. One of our proudest sons invented the World Wide Web. We are responsible for giving the world, and this is the good part. We
gave the world.
We gave the world Shakespeare, says proud
Shut up.
Pakistani Englishman, European.
Colonizer is like, yes, Shakespeare belongs to me. Like the toddler meme is so true. It's just like, Shakespeare, mine. The empire, mine.
I swear to God, if he was a Frenchman or a German saying we gave the world Shakespeare, I say, you absolutely did not.
Spit.
Yeah, you did not get away and enjoy your Goethe or whatever, you bloody. But no, but it gets so much better as well, right? We are responsible for giving the world the words of Shakespeare, Jane Austen, the Beatles, Amy Winehouse, and Stormzy.
Oh, for God, so London-centric. I want to kill myself.
But just, sorry, Stormzy?
Stormzy, yeah. No one knows.
Amy Winehouse.
You know, a lot of a lot of those plays, no one knows if Shakespeare or Stormzy wrote them. There's been a lot of controversy.
Just the apex of English culture, to be
I had
honest.
Sandronicus has a slightly different tone. It was Stormzy.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Stormzy must be thrilled to be in that list. He smashed it there.
Well, if I was Stormzy, I'd be like, wow, they're mentioning me alongside Shakespeare and Jane Austen.
You know what Jesse Lee Peterson would say? Where's Amy Winehouse now?
Ooh.
She's dead. I rest my case. That's what he always
Unfortunately,
said.
you said that about Shakespeare too.
Yeah. Good
Anyway,
he lives through his writing. But yeah, that's a shocking list.
Stormzy.
It's an inclusive list, though. It's trying to include everyone, isn't it? It's got the boomers in there.
It's a very diverse list.
This is actually their vision of the future of England, because I mean the mass ethnic displacement is just going to end up with, let's say, their vision for England 2300 is going to be hordes of foreigners being like, we invented fish and chips, like we invented the tea and the coffee, and
We invented the British Empire that conquered our homeland.
yeah, if the Indian and the Pakistanis are debating about whether or not you should put the jam on first, the cream on first, because of course one side invented, the other side invented the other way.
No, but unironically, in 100 years' time, if they're like, okay, now the British Empire's faded into memory, we're going to make films about it, right? Like the Napoleonic Wars and stuff like that. So now we're going to have, right, okay, so we need the British Army moving into Africa or moving into India, and it's going to be made up of Africans and Indians because Britain was always diverse. So, I mean, how are you going to explain this? It's going to look absolutely clown show. But anyway, he says, as well as celebrating our successes, St. George's Day is often a time when we discuss what it means to be English. Who has ever sat down with Sadiq Khan and discussed what being English means to him? Do you think that happens in his own household?
Maybe he does it in his own head because he's mental. I don't.
I mean, and to be honest with you, I don't sit down on St. George's Day with my kids and discuss what it means to be English with them. I do that every single damn day because our identity is constantly under attack. You know,
Gather round, children.
no, ironically, I'm making my eldest son read Churchill's History of the English-speaking People. I'm like, look, Alfred was at Chippenham where he was defeated by the Vikings, and they went to Somerset. I'm like, son, that's half an hour away from where we live. You live in that land. You know, I'm really hammering this into his head. It's like, this is yours. It's not Sadiq's. You know, his ancestors were literally 30,000 miles away.
Your son's going to be the last person that knows our history.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No.
30 years, he'll be giving a Putin speech of like, and Hengist and Horse, when they first arrived.
God willing.
This is why I've invaded London.
But he says, history shows it's not always easy to define being English. Many call the reductive, cruel Tebbit test, coined by the former Tory MP and cabinet minister, which sought to determine the strength of allegiance of all South Asian and Caribbean immigrants and their children by which cricket team they cheered. Is that cruel? Do they identify with the Caribbean or India, or do they identify with England when they're cheering the cricket? It seems like a really fair measure to me. Because, I mean, you saw the videos going around the other day of the kids in London being like, yeah, I'm from the Caribbean. I've got loyalty to my homeland. It's like,
I can think of worse cruelties in our history. That's not that cruel, is it?
The worst thing that the British ever did was question the cricket allegiance. It is, of course, entirely foolish to believe that a person's loyalty to our nation can be measured by the feelings invoked by a badge on a set of cricket whites. Is it, though? Like, do we measure? I mean, we haven't got a metric for it.
Pretty normal. I mean, Andy Murray's always at pains to say how he supports Scotland, never cheers for England.
Absolutely.
Quite normal.
It's totally normal. It's actually completely fine. But he thinks that your loyalty to Britain is measured by a commitment to protect our democracy. It's our democracy, Callum. And the rule of law.
Has anyone got the bingo card? Yeah.
To preserve our institutions and uphold shared values like respect for others, equality and justice. That's right. If there's one thing that the British Empire was about, it's equality. It wasn't a racial hierarchy,
so
as the left would have you believe, right?
It's just saying communist things and saying that's English. It's just so transparently there. It's just.
I kind of preferred it when they were just like, "Don't you know St. George is Turkish?"
Yeah.
At least that was just stupid.
Yeah, they hated it. They hate us. And they think we're all. They want to undermine our one day.
Yeah.
Now this is like Britain's always been about gulags and equality. It's like, what are you talking about? Equity and all that. So just take your own values, stick them on the flag.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just so.
Literally, that's literally what he does. So Sadiq wants England to be a propositional communist nation. We're not. And it's actually not hard to determine who is and is not English and what Englishness is. Englishness is just literally whatever the English do, and they're determined by lineage. Did you have one English parent, then you were English. It's not that difficult. Interestingly, that doesn't allow Sadiq into the club. One of the great many principles underpinning our country is that we can have multiple identities and not subjected to a bogus loyalty test. Wonder why Sadiq Khan's worried about loyalty tests. He's a proud European, Callum.
Bogus loyalty test, such as voting on an issue which would benefit your homeland.
Yes. But I mean, which homeland?
Mr. Politician, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But like, why is Mr. Politician so obsessed with Pakistan? Because, I mean, I've gone through this before with my whole Pakistan to Lenta S point of view, which is that we get nothing from Pakistan. Literally nothing. No economic benefit.
You get mayors of London.
Yeah, that's been a benefit. We got no military benefit, no strategic benefit, no diplomatic benefit. Our relations with the Pakistani state are just negative.
They send us proud Europeans. I don't know what.
Yeah.
That is
fellow Englishmen. I don't know what
the
your problem
ancient
is.
descendants of Alexander the Great, such as Sadiq Khan, are turning back on.
such a new thing, isn't it? Forced to choose between our flag and our family history. It used to be you came to the country, you adopted it. Even someone like John Lydon was talking about this. He was saying he was Irish, but then when he came to Britain, in England, his mum said, "Right, you're English now. Forget all that." In which, even Ireland and England not always got on so well, but she said, "You're English now." John Lydon from the Sex Pistols. So this is gone now. Sadiq Khan sees that as a terrible choice. It used to be like a proud thing. You came to the country and then you said, "Right, now I'm British."
Well, that's what incorporation is.
Yeah.
Is that you want to become a part of the place. But I mean, you can just do what Sadiq is and just literally wear any hat that's relevant depending on who you're talking to. But you are right. Forced to choose between our flag and our family history, our home or our heritage. It's like, right.
That's such a great example of what the problem is, Sadiq. Because there's your flag, the one you serve under, and then there's your family and your heritage, which obviously wins every single time. Any normal person would go with their own family before some kind of abstract concept of a foreign nation, which you kind of just are living in anyway, and you could go back to your homeland. That's the problem with dual citizenship. This is why most nations on Earth don't accept dual citizenship outright.
Yeah, sensible.
But then even like places that do, I mean, I think Japan, for example, if you become a politician, they force you to give that one up.
Yeah.
You have to be a Japanese-only citizen. So there's no out.
And so, I mean, he's completely right. You are forced to choose, and Sadiq just chooses everything. Because he goes on to say, "I'm a proud son of Tooting. I am proud to be a Londoner, English, British, of Pakistani ethnic origin and Asian heritage, European, and of Islamic faith." And it's like, a lot of those things just are mutually exclusive, Sadiq.
He missed out feminism.
That's a good point. He's not a feminist. I guess Posey Parker took that back. And he says there's no contradiction between any of those. It's like, no, there is actually, Sadiq.
What if you're mentally ill? I mean, then you don't have to see them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's got multiple personality disorders, but English and Pakistani are ethnic groups. And unless you have a parent from each, you can't actually move between them. You can't just choose
your shared history is only one.
Yeah.
Your shared heritage is only one.
And both of his parents are Pakistani, of course. So it's just, okay, look, I'm not saying that you can't be British. I'm not saying you can't live in England. I'm not saying you can't be the mayor of London. But what I'm saying,
I'm saying you shouldn't. No.
Yeah. I'm saying you shouldn't.
But that's for other reasons.
Yeah. Political reasons for that. You're a Labour Party member. But you just can't say, "Oh, I'm going to change my ethnic group." That's just not how an ethnicity works. It's built into you. But anyway, he says there's no tension between patriotism and pluralism, which is weird considering the streets of London are constantly filled with that tension. And he says, at a time when forces are trying to divide us and tear our social fabric, we must reject those who claim to be patriots by talking our country down and trying to narrow it to what it means to be English as a way of excluding others. That's right. Everyone on the earth is an Englishman now. Yep. The mission of the British Empire is complete.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. The Imperial Project was literally to turn everyone into an Englishman, basically. Impose our standards and norms and customs on everyone. And Sadiq's like, yeah, we will win, guys. This will work.
Not exactly what Cecil Rhodes meant.
Well, he literally said that.
When there'll be more of us all over the earth, the world will be better. I mean, Cecil Rhodes sort of meant more English, not declare everyone English, job done.
Well, Sadiq Khan's just tapping his big brain and being like, listen, I can fulfill the promise of Cecil Rhodes. But anyway, on a sensible note, of course, English is an ethnic identity, which means it's exclusive. It's a national identity. It's okay. All other ethnic identities exclude other ethnic identities. That's not a form of racism. It's not hatred.
You're not Kenyan?
No. And
how will you live with that?
I can't just become a Kenyan. That's fine. It's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make anyone a bad person. It's just reality. And he says, I was raised to be proud of being British. And for long as I can remember, I have been. But the enormous pride I now feel in being English took longer to develop.
It took until the election year.
Yeah. It's literally.
I checked
right now.
Starmer. We're English now.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
It's just, but how, I mean, this is like me saying, well, I take an enormous pride in being an Athenian, actually. I'm not an Athenian.
Took me a bit longer.
Yeah, it took me a bit longer. But I suddenly feel it because I like Athens now, all of a sudden. Or, so it's nonsense. But he says, let us stay true to our values by channeling the famous English spirit, by cherishing and celebrating our diversity. That's what being English is. The diversity. It all boils down to that. But anyway, you might think that Sadiq would look at this then saying, well, why are my Met police,
my people,
persecuting my people on the streets? Like, you would think.
That's his inclusive flag.
Yeah, that's your flag, Sadiq. They're your people, surely. They all agree with you. This is your identity. Why are you letting your Met police do this to them? And why are you letting other groups march without any kind of hiccup?
That's the feminist European Muslim flag they're just abusing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's appalling.
It's just ridiculous, and no one believes it, Sadiq. We know you're not an Englishman. I mean, as you said to the Pakistani television, you're a proud Pakistani mayor of London, and that's fine. No one's objecting. Well, I mean, they're objecting, but there are other reasons for that. Anyway, and he wasn't the only one. You're aware of Femi, born in Darlington to Nigerian parents who came here in the 80s.
Still around?
Yeah, he is. He's still around. He's a hardcore Remainer, anti-British activist.
He had a spat with Camilla Tominey of GB News the other day. She told him to go F himself. And it was quite justified, actually. He was complaining that he was badly treated, but she posted it and she was completely right.
Right.
There was a community note as well that said Femi was wrong. It was
Femi
so
deserved
good.
it.
Yeah, Femi deserved it. Yeah, it was so good.
Femi sucks, community note. But Femi's also joined the far right. Why don't the English get a day off St. George's Day? We don't deserve it. Hello, fellow Englishmen of Nigerian origin. There's a petition with 70,000 signatures calling for a holiday on St. George's Day. And the problem, Femi tells us, is a national holiday won't restore the pride of people struggling to stay warm and fed. The petition argues that St. George's Day holiday would let English people celebrate their shared history and cultural identity. I'm not from any region of Nigeria. I don't know what shared history we have. I mean, I guess it's British Imperial Dominion.
What? So for St. George's Day, they're going to dress up as subjects, and we dress up as governors?
Probably Sadiq seems to be recommending it. I don't know. But the thing is, right, the petition is arguing that. And Femi's like, whoa, hang on a second. We aren't responsible for our history. We weren't there. So why should we be proud of it? And even the act of celebrating our past more than our present implies that things have gone downhill, which is exactly what most people feel.
Jesus Christ. I mean, is it actually like talking to a child?
It is.
I wasn't alive, so it's not relevant.
Yes. But Femi, we've got to accept that you're part of the decline, mate. Your presence here is the decline.
But how narcissistic and egotistical do you have to be to argue, I wasn't there, so it's not relevant?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to be a mental case.
Yeah.
To think that's how the world works. That when you die, everything will cease.
Yeah.
No, everything will carry on without you.
But like, you want to be, say, hello, fellow Englishmen. Okay, fair enough. Okay, fellow Englishmen. By the way, we don't have a history because we weren't personally there. It's like, that's not how this works, actually, Femi. Actually, we've got the inherited continuity of a great civilization that our ancestors built that your parents wanted to be a part of. And unfortunately, that meant you got born in London somewhere else. You got born in the north.
So yeah, they've gone from sort of our history is evil to actually it was full of LGBT people and diversity. Yeah. Actually, it didn't happen. We weren't there. Not looking.
I mean, we got to the point of book learning.
Yeah.
It's just the past didn't happen. How did we start here? God did it? Diverse God?
The brown God did it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, he says, we don't have a shared cultural identity. So to brag about our shared cultural identity is laughable. And it's like, okay, I thought the shared cultural identity was British, actually, and that Nigerians, English people, and even the Welsh could be British. But apparently not. And neither England nor the UK has been working for people, and we're experiencing the sharpest fall in living standards on record. Why should we be proud of that? And it's like, yeah, we're not taking pride in the fact that the country's in decline. We're taking pride in the fact that we're decent people and we have a good history, Femi.
Yeah. God save our declining living standards.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Weird idea. Of course, no one likes that.
Conservative Party conference logo.
He continues to then whine about Brexit and Gaza, as you do. But the thing is, I think what have we learned here, right? And we've learned that the English identity is actually pretty damn strong. And this is what they're reacting to. It exists outside of the woke progressive sphere because they kicked out and be like, no, that's a National Front identity. Can't have any of that. And so it's an identity they don't control. And it's become apparent to them that there is actually a kind of a resurgence, a sort of just a groundswell of regular English people who are like, you know what? And I've seen this a lot from normies, like people, like, you know, when I'm at school and stuff like that, they're like, why don't we have a St. George's Day thing and stuff like this? So I've seen normal people saying this. And so they're like, oh no, this is a rogue identity that has its own power. And so they're trying to bring it into the fold and say, yeah, so what your identity is communism, really, isn't it? You know, it's always been communism. That's just not how people feel about it. And so it all sounds very sort of leaden-tongued and tin-eared when they say it. You know, when Keir Starmer or Sadiq Khan or Femi are like, yes, hello, fellow English patriots. Haven't we all been English patriots together? Everyone's like, no, you don't. You're not convincing in any way, shape, or form, because everyone knows that to be an Englishman or woman is to be exclusive, and there is no place for the philosophy of inclusivity and diversity. And the thing is, there are lots of records about the English identity from lots of different people. And one of my favorite hobbies is to find foreigners talking about the English, because it always makes us sound amazing, right? So this is just a collection of quotes. So you've got 14th century French chronicler Jean Froissart described the English with great haughtiness, who are affable to no other nation than their own. True.
Yep.
True.
Yes.
A German knight, Nicholas von Poppelau, visited the country and complained that the English think they're the wisest people in the world, and the world does not exist apart from England.
Checks out.
You're all just Europeans to us.
Yep. Not even that. Foreign.
Yeah.
15 years later, the Venetian traveller stated the English are great lovers of themselves and everything belonging to them. And whenever they see a handsome stranger, they say he looks like an Englishman. Well, we don't say that anymore, but fair enough, you know. And so that just makes us sound amazing. And people kind of are angry about it. Like the Greeks of Sicily thought we had long tails, and they were threatened to cut off our tails. And it's like, I don't know what they're talking about there.
Don't tell them about the tail.
Yeah, I don't know what the...
That's pretty cool as well, though, isn't it? Like, you're going into battle and they're thinking, these guys have tails.
Yeah,
That's
I guess they must have had long hair or something.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah. It came from.
But the French accused the English of being drunken and perfidious.
Totally true.
Yes, not wrong.
You see that Ryanair flight that went viral?
No.
After 20 minutes of takeoff, all of the alcohol was consumed. For the next 8 hours, there was no alcohol to be consumed.
And a riot ensued on the plane, probably.
But cool it with the perfidious chat.
Right. They were aloof, they were phlegmatic, and they were insensitive to their own suffering and to the suffering of others. They were not afraid of death. This is why they quarreled with so much ferocity. They robbed and murdered one another quite openly, sometimes even their king. So were they known for their violence. They make us sound amazing.
They just pasted that from your Twitter bio.
They may as well. Like, they make us sound like Chads.
Yeah.
Medieval Chads running around. Like, oh my God, the English arrived and we don't know what we can do about them. They keep beating everyone up. It's like, yeah, kind of. That was what the 100 Years' War was.
Even killed their liege.
And their tails.
Yeah.
But being a prick, he needed to be killed.
It just makes us sound amazing. And this is what I got first put onto this, going through this Dutch professor's study of the English in the early 20th century in a book called The English, Are They Human? In which he came to the conclusion, no, they're not human. They hold themselves as something above humanity because they hold really high standards and they have particular ways of doing things. And they think that if you're not doing these things this way, then you're not properly English. And the rest of humanity does all of the things differently to us. And therefore, we are not really human to the continental mindset. Okay, fine. Yeah, we're English.
That's how we had the empire. We had all the fair play. We're going to conquer you, but in a kind of benign way, and have things like fair play because we are better than all.
And we're going to and we're going to impose high standards on you. You're going to stop slaving. You're going to stop burning widows. You're going to, we just do things in a better way. And he was like, well, maybe after the empire's gone, they'll come back to Earth and be human again. And actually, I'm kind of worried that he might be right. So no, we are actually better than you, according to history, your own critique of us, and what we feel about ourselves. We should act differently. We shouldn't have these high standards. We should be exclusive.
If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Brokenomics series, this episode on the book Return of the Strong Gods. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.